So Josh, shall we move swiftly on to my little section? And what I'll do, I have no slides, but what I do have is a short film that Jill is very kindly going to load
Try
up.
to find.
So just a brief introduction to this. We had a big river cleanup in Chelmsford a couple of weekends ago, and it's organised by, it's a council supported for Chelmsford, and they're the sustainability officers in the council, but it's all about reaching different communities and having people come together to make a difference. And it's very important that we are highly visible when we do this. So the high-vis have Love Your Chelmsford on the back. We have community litter picking sacks, which are also so people know when they see someone in high-vis litter picking, you're not doing community service in the old sense, because that was one of my great bugbears, was it was seen as a punishment to litter pick, when actually it's the best and kindest thing we can do it. So that was one of the reasons why I was very keen to brand this as Love Your Chelmsford. And basically everyone came together, river users essentially. So the local scuba diving club, the sea cadets. We even had magna fishers, so people who can really pull heavyweight items out of the river. We also had people walk along the side of the river as normal, groups of all ages. And what we did, we worked our way from the central section of Chelmsford, just by the record office, if you know that, in Baddow Road, right in the centre, which can be a bit grotty because it's the canalised section, some of this as well, going through the city centre and all the way through to Admiral's Park. We're really lucky in the district. We have 4 rivers. We have the Cam, the Wid and the Chelmsford. We also have the Crouch, which is a completely different landscape. Lots of Ramsar, very special preserved sites for very rare species and very vulnerable to pollution. So we also went down to Southwood on the Monday morning and worked with a local school. So this is the Love Your Chelmsford summary of the big river cleanup, a couple of weekends ago.
The Chelmsford district is home to an abundance of waterways, including 4 rivers. The River Wid flows north from Billericay and the River Can travels southeast from Dunmow. The 2 rivers continue as the Can towards Chelmsford city centre. Here, the Can romantically connects with the River Chelmer and continues its journey east towards Malden. And of course, the River Crouch is a natural asset for Southwood and Ferrers. Our rivers play an important role in our environment. They provide a home for wildlife, and people too. We depend on rivers for drinking water, recreation. They have shaped our landscape, and it's vital that we take good care of them for our community and nature. Dumped waste and litter pollutes. It harms and it looks dirty. But amazingly, the Chelmsford district has a community of people that care. People willing to help to protect and clean up waste materials from the water's edge, the water's surface, and even the water's bed. Let's meet some of them.
We're here from Life Church Chelmsford, and we believe that God has given us this planet as a gift to take care of and to steward, and that keeping it clean is how we can make sure that everyone gets to enjoy it for longer.
Hello, we're Trinity St Mary's School in Southwood and Ferris, and we're here because the waterways are really important to us because
it's important for our communities to come down to the rivers and enjoy the wildlife without there being any rubbish.
And also to save, keep the animals safe and us safe, and to stop the animals in the ocean getting stuck in rubbish, because all the rivers go into the ocean.
Hi, I'm Elle from Sussex.
I'm Duncan from Sussex.
And we clean the waterways once a month, every month of the year, basically to make sure that we're paddling on rubbish-free surfaces.
Hi, I'm Claire Fry from the Chelmsford Litter Wombles, and we're here today to support the Love Your Chelmsford team. Just basically down here to stop all the litter going into the river, which is our wonderful beauty spots in the city.
So I'm Councillor Richard Lee. This is my ward, the Lawns. I used to play down here as a kid. I bring my kids down here now. I'd like this place to be enjoyed for future generations forevermore. One of the important things is to keep the place clean.
Hi, we're from Chelmsford Scuba Club. We go above and beneath the water. It's really important for us to keep the rivers clean, giving something back to the local community, and it's good fun for everyone.
Taking pride in where you live is essential for a thriving society. Thank you to everybody that has given up their time to keeping our waterways a wonderful space for all.
That star swan at the end is known as Asbo Swan because he is really territorial, and so the Waterways creating every day.
Yeah.
Well, it's right in the heart of the city centre, and the families are there every year on year. What we did notice this year, and it's heartbreaking actually, was the plastic woven into some of the swans' nests and the fragments from the river. And then I know what we can do and what we should do, and we need to act. And it's all about removing that awful stuff from every system that we have on Earth, but it's going to take a while. In the meantime, doing these great local, highly visible congregations of people and volunteers really does send a strong positiveness to people. And we also picked up several more volunteers. To summarise about council and policy and local government and where our voice is and what we can do as councillors. We took control of the council in 2019. I'm a Lib Dem, and I'm one of 33 Lib Dem councillors now. We wanted to have a very simple objective for people because there's so much talk in council. We wanted to make Chelmsford a greener, fairer and more connected community. So basically they form our strategic objectives. It's much more complicated and nuanced than that. But we immediately declared a climate and ecological emergency, and that set the ball rolling with an action plan that includes the waterways. The waterways are absolutely fundamental to our city, and many of you will be fortunate enough to have a waterway running through your town or your village, or even brook. Everything there will connect, and it connects us through the county and goes out to sea. So we wanted to capitalise on that connection. We formed a Waterways working group, which is a cross-party group of councillors, but also with lots of local specialists, people who have been passionate about waterways for years, but perhaps felt that they were a quiet voice. So the J.A. Baker Society, J.A. Baker wrote the most beautiful book, Peregrine, which is an account of his diary with the young man growing up in Chelmsford and seeing what our agricultural use was doing to birds of prey. And this was around the time, in fact, it might even have predated Silent Spring, but it's a wonderful book. And it's just people like that, the quiet champions of J.A. Baker, were invited to a workshop, and at which we asked them what they wanted to see in Chelmsford. And they told us in no uncertain terms what hadn't happened up to now. So consequently, and to cut a very long story short, because the workshop was on the 14th of February 2020, we had really high hopes to get everything off the ground. And then at the end of March, everything shut down. So we continued our sessions remotely through COVID, and we came up with a strategy, a plan for improving the rivers and waterways in and around Chelmsford. And these form policies now, which are written into our climate emergency action plan. And it's very important that we see this through. So we've also allocated budget to do some works. We know that there's a growing recognition of the importance of the waterways in our country to people. But we've also got to balance things like the economic development, bringing people in, using the water, with very delicate habitats. And so we've got the parks team heavily involved in this, and our parks and waterways team. We've also got economic development on board, but crucially, we're reviewing our local plan. And through that, we can ensure that we are doing as much as we possibly can, especially when brownfield sites near to the centre of Chelmsford are developed, to be embracing the waterways and treating them just as we would a park, so in terms of balancing people's access and with the very precious habitats that have built up, perhaps while the site has been derelict. So the old gas towers in Chelmsford have now been removed, and contamination of that site has happened, and we're going to see a huge development, the waterside development, which will be linear, and it will go along to meet up with some of the higher buildings towards the floodplains that open out towards Sandford Mill. And because the councillors involved in the Waterways Working Group are very passionate about preserving Sandford Mill and its habitat, that's given us amplified our voice. And this is councillors from all sides as well, and several independents from Southwood and Ferris. So I suppose my message to you would be, firstly, why don't you stand for election if you are passionate about what you do? Because I had no idea of the changes we can make locally. Writing letters to government is a really powerful statement, but DEFRA, honestly, and the wheels move so slowly. We've got an environment plan that's nowhere near being really pushed through nationally, but locally you can change policies. And it's equally important that you lobby your local councillors, if they're parish or otherwise. So parish here, or if you've got a town council, or if you want to go to Essex County Council, put a copy in your city councillors and make sure that we're all working together, because so often I'm finding we work in parallel on projects. And I've learned a lot today from our colleagues from Essex County Council about we're actually doing this, but we don't necessarily get the chance to talk about it. So yes, so keep your passion, channel it, however best to lobby for change. And if you'd like to find out more about Love Your Chelmsford, please visit the website, which is loveyourchelmsford.co.uk. And there's all manner of opportunities to volunteer. You'll see some of the wonderful projects that are underway, and you'll see how, as a council, we aspire to bring people with us, because that really is the only way that we can transform our society. And more power to you. Thank you for everything you did.